Well, hey. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Blue Game Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30 plus V. Look, I usually have my spiel I say, and then I was just thinking, okay, is my mic working? It is. And then I had a glimpse of like the hair, but then it was like the mic. I was like, oh, it's the mic. So I really already blew it, but it's okay because really I could do whatever I want. Right. And the main thing that I want to do is just talk about video games. But to finish that opening, 30 plus year video game enthusiast, right? You hear people that been in the industry for so long. I haven't been in the industry, but I have because I've played games for so long, covered it for so long. I feel like I can say that. Let me check one more thing here. Okay, yeah, that's working. Okay. Well, hope everyone had a good weekend. I got a lot more gaming done this weekend than I thought I would. You know, we didn't really do any shopping or going out, which sometimes we do on weekends, and that takes up time. Instead, we stayed in a little more. Also, that back thing I was talking about, I'm trying to stay off it a little bit, but it's doing fine. So it was interesting. What I did this weekend, and actually, I might as well just share that screen just so it has context. But Avowed. We'll start with Avowed right here. So, you guys remember I played Avowed when it came out, March, February 2025, so about a year ago. And I beat it, and I was surprised how much I liked it. A couple of the things was instead of being first person, I gave it, you could put it in third person. That kind of changed it up for me. Also, I just played it like mainlining the quest. So it was I was constantly going on an adventure, and I realized that's what I like from something like Xenoblade. Is when you're playing Xenoblade, it's not about the open world at all times. Like, you can completely ignore the open world and go on an adventure, right? That's what it was like with Avowed, because then when I went to go back to all the different maps, and I'll show this later, in Avowed, it's like, wow, I barely went through this game, and now I'm going through because there's a fog of war for each map. So it's fun to go through the map and try to uncover the fog and then find more secrets and more things. And what it helps is the combat, the moment to moment combat. There's so much to it. I'm always switching up what weapons I'm doing. I mean, I have it where, and it's how they made this game is how it just works so well, where you have you press Y to change your loadouts, which is a left and right handed weapon. So I have it right now where I have a two-handed giant sword, and then if I switch my loadout, it's a axe and a spell book. So I could shoot spells and axe people, or take a big sword. And then I was doing it differently, where I had this it's an arbaquest or I don't know how you say the word. It's an older type of gun that almost works like a long range. It's like a sniper rifle shotgun thing. And I had that where that was my alternate that I was switching to, and then I'd have a magic, my spell book, and a sword. It's just the combat variety just makes the adventuring so fun, you know. So I've just spent a lot of time again, I beat the game already. So what you do is you load your save right before the last boss. Which what I did was I didn't realize that, so I go back into my game. There's an option for New Game Plus, but I go back into my game and I'm at the last boss, and I'm like, well, I can't go anywhere else because I had gotten too far where it locks the rest of the game out. But the game saves all the time, so I had a save right before that I was able to use. So now I've been playing, doing that. And it's a lot of fun. It really, the game is completely different when you've beaten it, and then you're just a super badass, and you're just running around finding things and destroying things. It's so much fun. And then Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. So last week, Nintendo dropped that $5 4K 60 upgrade. It's been great because this game's visually appealing in the first place, even though you can pick up on it not being a super high-end AAA graphical powerhouse. But with that level of, apparently some textures were also upgraded, but with that 4K 60 FPS in the living room, runs great. And then on handheld, having 120 hertz, it's amazing. Either way, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is a fun game. And while both that and Avowed are these kind of open world RPGs, they both play completely different. And that's what made it a fun back and forth this weekend. So, yeah, a lot of fun with Avowed. Glad I'm getting back into that. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Still debating if I want to keep playing Chronicles 2 or wait for an upgrade. I don't know. Or just jump to 3. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. Okay, so I think this is a very interesting topic. It's something that happened, what, was it like Friday? Was it Friday? Was it just the end of, where I had already done my Bluecast? I was deep into getting to the end of my workday. And then they had announced that Phil Spencer has retired. Sarah Bond as president, actually, has stepped down. And, it was very interesting information. So let me start it again like I'm making a clip. Okay. So the news has come that Phil Spencer is stepping down or retiring. Sarah Bond will no longer be president. And now they have a new Microsoft Gaming CEO, Asha Sharma. And she comes from a background of AI. So there's so much that we can unpack with this news, with what's going on with Xbox. But I want to focus on the one thing that is annoying when it comes to the discourse discussion online, and that is anything that has to do with AI. Look, AI is on the forefront of technology moving forward. We have to identify it. Yes, within that, there's going to be bad practices of that. We need to identify that and communicate this is not how to do it. So far, what Asha Sharma, has said is completely in line with ethical use of AI. What I would expect a modern video game company to do with AI in order for the end user, the gamer, to get the better product. So I used AI to list all the different things that you wouldn't know that improves game development and actually improves in other areas in life that I don't even know, that you wouldn't even know. And that's what's interesting. I'm in IT, and it's IT consulting. It's helping people deploy technologies. And AI at the base, usage of AI at that foundation level to get you going to be kind of a spot checker, help along the way, is becoming way more ingrained into the work across the industry than you would realize if you're not in that industry, right? If you're a car mechanic, I'm sure maybe you might use ChatGPT sometimes to answer something, but you then will go online and might complain like AI generated slop, blah, blah, blah. And it's like that noise is so annoying because leveraging AI for game dev is going to help us with a lot of things. So engineering and debugging, log crash triage, smarter build break detection, static analysis on steroids, performance regression hunting. You're probably thinking, Adam, you don't even know what you're talking about. And actually, I read this to learn, that's what this involves in game dev. I didn't know this. And some things I did know. So, a lot of stuff I do know, surface level. But a lot of stuff I didn't. I'm like, you don't want to have to spend time doing that. If we can have AI do that, the creator can spend more time engaging with the systems that the user is going to have to engage with, or spend more time maybe on story, spend more time maybe on optimization. That's a really big deal, especially with Unreal Engine kind of creating this sort of game dev bubble where there's a lot of very specific use cases of someone using Unreal Engine, but it doesn't really help cohesively as a whole with the project. And that's why a lot of these projects fall apart over time. So we have QA and test automation. So test plan generation from specs. So turn a feature spec into a checklist of edge cases. So this is a way you can quickly get things going that you might be like, guys, we don't have time for that. Or I don't know if we can figure out this. We might only realize that halfway through. This can kind of help with that. Bug deduping, routing, playtest analysis. Sure, you can still have a playtester, but you can also have like a sidekick, colleague, professor helping you along the way, or helping with the base level stuff that you don't have to deal with. Production and project management, spec hygiene, risk forecasting, meeting compression, art animation pipeline support, still no asset generation. You do asset validation, check naming convention, missing LODs, bad pivots, inconsistent units, broken references, incorrect import settings. Animation issue detection, again, not generation. Identify foot sliding, popping, IK instability, or retargeting anomalies by analyzing curves metrics, not generating new animation. Perforce get sanity helpers, detect risky merges, missing metafiles, or inconsistent asset GUID changes, which is, that's a huge deal. I mean, who knows how much work, a lot of people actually do know how much time it takes to do these things, when it would be nice to have a tool that kind of help you find it. Because sometimes the bug is right there, it's obvious, but the human eye will just miss it as they're looking. You know, when like you have to look for something specific, they're like, oh, I know it's right there. It's, yeah, exactly. Design and balance, or design balancing and economy tuning. So balance telemetry analysis, economy simulation. So I keep on wanting to say economics, but yeah, economy simulation. So with games, they, you know, instead of using like the same tried and true economy system, I think this allows developers maybe to try a little more different things they can throw in there. Like even going maybe halfway through development, realizing, hey, we want to change this aspect of the economy, but what effect is it going to have? Is that something we can, there's a lot more checks and balances that could be done. Let's see. Difficulty curve checks. That makes sense. Localization and accessibility support. So this is a good one. Localization QA, flag truncation, variable misuse, gender, pluralization issues, or strings that don't match UI context. But again, if you're using it to just generate that end product, you're going to run into that stuff. So seeing it as a way to support, or looking at it as a way to support, is the best use case for AI, not the generation. Customer support and live ops. So ticket triage, known issue. So this is stuff I'm kind of familiar with, because within the systems I support, there is functionality that involves a manual input and then a notification going to a specific user group that then they have to enact on. And there's a lot of manual dependencies in that sometimes gets in the way or gets dropped. You know, if you have a system in place where it's, you know, doing that stuff automatically, you can quickly get to the issue, resolve it. Let's see, documentation and knowledge retrieval. This is a huge one. Even right now, while I am working, in my day job, there's pretty much a silo of my knowledge of the projects I'm working on. And I can interface, you know, with that chatbot and ask, hey, do you have a reference of this use case, blah, blah, blah. And then it will go and it'll pull that among all the things that I've put together. And that seems really simple, but if you start working that way from the ground up in game dev and anything, you'll realize you can quickly iterate where you need to. So a lot of what is going on with even Sony, even Nintendo, there's a lot of foundational things that are like, look, we've spent this much time doing this. Nowadays, we can use AI, and I hate to say that because then people just think, oh, AI generation, slop. No, we can use AI to quickly get to where we need to, save a ton of money. So it's probably saving money for Sony to do what they're doing right now by axing and canceling the stuff, because then they know that they can just start new projects that have kind of an AI foundation and they can go from there. Microsoft's just always been more transparent about all their moves the entire time, and then people get mad at them. But Sony is doing the same thing. They just don't say it. You know, and so then people just then assume, oh, Microsoft's. But Sony does say it. They just usually say it within stockholder meetings or whatever that most the average gamer that posts on X doesn't actually listen to, because Sony's already said they're going to get out of hardware. Just like Microsoft has been saying since 2014. And all that cloud infrastructure is only further going to be supported by having AI in place. And yeah, we saw with Amazon, they had an issue recently where their AI messed up in whatever pipeline and caused some outages. And I guess that will be some of the growing pains along the way. But once they can sort of filter down and solidify the use case necessary for AI, it's going to help with a lot of things. So I think Microsoft being transparent about this is a good thing. I I can name a number of times in history where Microsoft has revolutionized the gameplay experience for the market, and I don't see why they wouldn't still do that. For instance, the hard drive that you had on the Xbox with the modem. Remember, the first Xbox, hard drive and modem, now that's, or network card, now that's completely standard. Even still having the 4 controller ports when they really didn't need to. And then the backwards compatibility, and then coming up with Game Pass, which, hey, I'm gonna admit I like. It saved me money, and so many other things. So I really got to say it is possible that Microsoft might be doing something with AI here that, at the end of the day, and again, she's what's her again, Asha Sharma. She has spelled out what her plans are with AI, and it is in line with what I've learned is best use case for AI, and I think it can make game dev even better. So that's my thoughts on this. I feel like it's time for Phil Spencer to move out. Sarah Bond, I don't know too much about. I don't think she was necessarily hired, though, for the video game creativity. I think it was more of the business end of things, perhaps. So I don't know how much that really matters. But Phil Spencer, he's been there for so long. If he needs to retire, he might as well. It's been a great run. Anyway, curious to see what's going to happen. Curious what you guys think about all this. But I guess I'm having a positive outlook, but at the end of the day, both Sony and Microsoft are giant corporations where gaming is just part. They're not gaming companies, they just do gaming. And so for me, that's not then that great. I guess I don't know how to explain it. Like, I prefer companies like Capcom, Konami. Either third-party publishers or someone like Nintendo, where video gaming is the main thing. The only reason we're seeing issues like this, like the one I'm covering, is because these are non-video game companies that just happen to have enough capital to have these AAA games and footprint in the gaming space. So that's that. Thanks for listening. Okay. I'm probably going to clip that out to be a video because I wanted to speak on it. I just, making a video, and then what am I going to say? And it's fun because JamKillX, like, you're in the chat, so it's kind of cool. It's like I'm hanging out and talking. All right. I don't think there's any other video game news I came across that I thought would be interesting to discuss. So what I'm going to do is jump into Avowed real quick and kind of show what the late game or end game of Avowed, how fun it is, how it's like its own thing. So let's get that going. And I will have to keep an eye on the audio. During the week, I will make videos for my other channel and other things using different mics. And then sometimes I'll forget how I had everything set up. But really, what I use Meld, really what I got to go through and is clean it up, because I'll add stuff and then just kind of leave it as I move on. But yeah, this is the one thing I want AI to help with, is make it to where I don't have to worry about the shader compilation. That is an Unreal Engine thing, though, and that's maybe what AI can help with. And there we go. All right, guys. So yeah, this is one that it's funny, I was playing it in the cloud in order to determine if I was going to download it. Okay. Make sure I'm loading the right one. You know, and then as I play this, there are certain quality of life things I think they could have to improve. So, I think I can just, well, let me show you guys this. So this is the map. And you can see there's still this fog of war where I haven't been. Although, and the thing is I can't show it unless I teleport there. I've already finished it, I think, with... Did I really finish it with all the other ones? Let me just go here to Gallowayne's Tusks. So basically, once you complete a certain percentage of the Fog of War, it then yep, I completed this one. So you know what? It seems big, but you can run across. Could you maybe run across this in less than 20 minutes? Probably. It seems like it's big, but you move pretty quick through it. Anyway, I've already done this Gallowayne's Tusks, Emerald Stair, Dawn Shore. I'm now finishing, which, unless I'm mistaken, like it looks like there's all these other areas that could be worlds that they add in, but it's not. So for those that haven't played it, like look at this. They even have like this desert here and this green and this jungle. The snow area, like, I don't know if that's more places they plan to add, but it's just this game is... So, another reason I jumped back into this is because this is now on PlayStation 5. And so that's a big deal for people that never... Okay. So, like, oh, perfect. I'm at a spot where I can just run forward. You know what? I think I had an objective I was in the middle of, and I just kind of... Yeah, maybe I can go run to it. Because again, as you'll see, it's... Oh no, I want to go on the path. It seems like it's a huge area. Okay, is there something over here? And here's the other thing, and you guys might know this, but it seems like in this game, everything's persistent. Whereas, like, if I kill... the enemies, they're no longer there anymore. Another win. But who's I know that seems like that'd be obvious, but it's like I can... that like tells me where I need to be exploring. Yeah. Oh, that looks cool, almost like a samurai dude. Okay. Hopefully there's no... Okay. Yeah, that seems kind of Japanese themed. Okay. You know, another interesting thing about this game too is, again, like I said, I think you can travel across it way quicker than it seems. But also, when you're exploring the open world, interesting. More than any other game. Have I been here? No. Like, there's a lot of... Oh, okay. There's a lot of spots where... there's not a lot going on, but there's going to be something, if that makes sense. It's just that it's not as, like... I feel like in Breath of the Wild, very well optimized. Ghost of Tsushima, very well optimized. There's always something to do somewhere. In this, that's not the case... But it's like eventually, some way you went. Okay, would make sense. All right, here we go. I'm actually gonna go back because I'm just trying to clear the fog of war. So yeah, what I'm trying to get at with this is, it's really quickly to run around in the open world, but there's not something to do everywhere. But because it doesn't take too long to run around, you'll end up finding something to do. Oh, so I'll switch to this, do a storm. And I just shot some ice, and then dual wield. Yeah. I mean, that's what's so fun about this combat. Like, look at all that.
We got them all.
Let's see. Something up there. So I see the hands here and I'm like, oh, I just jumped there. Oh, and that did work. It's weird how slightly inconsistent that is, but that's the thing. When you are exploring and you do go somewhere out of the way, you might find something pretty good. So. Oh, what's in here? Oh, I've already been here. So interesting how, like, I'll be in an area and not really find everything. Okay. So I've uncovered a lot of this. Let's It's like a little town I barely even explored. I'll never stop marveling at good maps in gaming, especially if they are scientifically believable, and or with yeah. I think maps can really make a game. Oh, okay. So I'm going to. Yeah, I'll go straight into the left. Oh, there we go. Oh. Okay, that fires. Nice. Anything else? Alright. Oh, so there's probably an enemy or something nearby that has that key. Alright. Let's see, according to this, there's a camp there. Let me go back. Can I not go through that way? Okay, yeah, let's go down. Maybe nothing. I'm gonna try to circle around, see if I can find. Like, it could be one of the keys or up the scaffolding. Let's see. Oh. Alright. Nice. Okay, so that sort of covered getting that area, but I do believe I will have to search around the area to find the key. And I'll look and see, okay, does it look like it wants me to jump around somewhere? And have I already, like, maybe passed by? Oh, see, this is a good example. Oh, look at that. Okay, no key, but you get the idea. There's going to be plenty of opportunity for me to... Ooh, hope I don't hurt myself. To search around in the scaffolding. Yeah, to see if there's a key. Okay, it's like I want to stop, and then it's like, well, let's just go here real quick. Oh, a note. This Merit, if you come back, know that I broke your statue on purpose. It's because you're an idiot, and you should be punished. If not for your ridiculous quest, a Dementor would still be here. You went out there, so okay, well, okay, look, that's drama. I'm not questing drama right now. Oh, this is going to be very important. Emerald Eye.
That looks like a piece of the thing you
I got the last totem fragment on this map, which is a huge deal. I did not think I'd find it up here. And there is right here, so I can then put the last fragment on. That wasn't a good idea. Fall damage in this is pretty iffy. But basically, once you get those totem fragments, you go to a camp here and you add the fragment. And I gotta go. It is past that time, so I'll show you guys real quick. All right, where is it? Yeah, right here. So I got 6 out of 6 on this one, 2 out of 6 on this one, 4 out of 6 is the one I'm completing. Distant voices murmur. Let them lull you. This is pretty interesting stuff, but I mostly just press A.
I could roast a Ballarok on the energy coming off this.
Okay, and I put the rest in there, so I'm done with 2 of them. And again, this is...
I don't usually lend it out.
I've already beat the game.
Why?
I have already beat the game, and there's this much stuff to do. It's a good game. I hope they add those other places on the map. Like, that's DLC that comes out soon. Now that it's out, I would think they would do it before the PS5. Maybe the idea is let it come out on PS5, and then maybe a year after the PS5, they add more. It just, if you guys look at the map, it really does look like it could have more. Sorry. All right, everyone, that is it. Thanks for joining today, this Monday. Hopefully you have a good Monday. I am going to get to work. I'll be back tomorrow on the Gundam Explained channel. So until then, have a good one. See y'all.